Form 4 Biology. Edexcel IGCSE 9-1 Series Student Book Chapter 5 Blood and Circulation Part 1. This comes under the specification 2.51 to 2.52 and 2.65 to 2.69. Objectives: to understand the transport in simple unicellular organisms, to understand the transport in multicellular organisms, to know the structure of human circulatory system, to investigate the changes in heart rate. Transport in single cell organism, that means unicellular organism. Unicellular organism, that means for example amoeba, paramecium, euglena, they don't have circulatory system. Why is this? Because their surface area to volume ratio is very high, or the ratio of supply to demand is high. Supply rate means how much the substances received by the cell, and the demand rate means how much organisms need. So compared to other organisms, small animals have high surface area to volume ratio due to large surface cell membrane. Then they exchange materials by using diffusion, that means using high concentration to low concentration, they are moving substances. They do not have circulatory system. The need for circulatory system. Why do we need circulatory system? In large animals, the surface area to volume ratio is very low compared to unicellular organism. But their demand for substances are very high. For example, they need more oxygen, more carbon dioxide. They are producing nutrients, urea, hormones, antibody. They need to transport all over the body. But for this purpose, the diffusion is not sufficient. To overcome this problem, large animals have evolved with special body system called circulatory system. There are two main circulatory systems in different animals. One is single circulatory system and the other one is double circulatory system. So the difference is single and double. That difference is due to the circulation of blood through the heart. In single circulation, blood passes through only once within one circulation. In double circulatory system, blood passes 2 times within one circulation. Let's see about that. In single circulation, as you see, blood is pumped from the heart to the gas exchange organ, then directly to the rest of the body. So in the double circulatory system, there are 2 circulation. In one circulation, blood is pumped from the heart to the gas exchange organ, then back to the heart, then to the rest of the body. Can you see that? Yes. As we discussed, there are 2 main circulations in double circulatory system. So we'll discuss furthermore about that. There are 2 types. One is pulmonary circulation, the other one is systemic circulation. In pulmonary circulation, blood is pumped from the heart to the lungs, then here oxygenated and returned back to the heart. In systemic circulation, blood passes to all the other parts of the body from the heart, then unloading oxygen and returns to the heart as deoxygenated blood. So shall we revise again? In pulmonary circulation, blood passes from the heart to the lungs, then back to the heart. In the systemic circulation, blood passes from the heart to the other organs and back to the heart. We discussed what are the differences between single and double circulatory system. In the single circulation, only blood is moving one time through the heart, But in double circulation, blood circulates twice through the heart. What is the advantage of double circulatory system? It is more efficient than the single circulation. Heart pumps blood twice, then produces more pressure. So it is easy for blood to circulate more quickly as according to the demand.
Now let's learn about the human circulatory system. There are three main components. Heart, that is the main organ which pumps blood. Then second one, blood vessels. Blood vessels allow substances to pass in and out from the heart. Then third one, it is the blood, that is the transport medium. So now let's learn about those components in detail.
Let's learn about the human heart. In the top diagram, you can see that simply label only the chambers of the heart. There are 4 chambers in human heart. The top chambers known as atria and the lower bottom chambers are known as ventricles. From the septum, heart is divided into 2 parts, right side and left side. Then right side, the top chamber, right atrium, the right side, the lower chamber, right ventricle, left side, top chamber is left atrium, and left side, the bottom chamber is left ventricle. Then the bottom diagram shows some more details about the heart structure. You can see that already the chambers are marked and there are main blood vessels attached to the heart. First of all, you should know that there are 2 main arteries, aorta and pulmonary artery. The job of the artery is to carry blood from the heart to the other parts. Pulmonary artery carries blood from heart to the lungs. Aorta carries blood from heart to the other parts. And there are 2 main veins, pulmonary vein and vena cava. You can see clearly in this diagram. Pulmonary vein, again the word pulmonary related to the lungs. So pulmonary vein means it is carrying blood from lungs to the heart. There's a vena cava that is to carry blood from rest of the body parts to the heart. And you can see that there are some valves, semilunar valves, atrioventricular valves, that is to separate chambers. That means atrioventricular valves are separating atrium and ventricle. The right side valve is known as tricuspid valve and the left side atrioventricular valve is known as bicuspid valve. There's another valve called semilunar valve. The function is to provide the one-way flow from ventricles to the arteries. Let's move to the next slide. What is cardiac cycle? As we learn, blood is moved through the heart by a series of contractions and relaxation of the muscles in the walls of the 4 chambers. These events form the cardiac cycle. Let's learn about the events of the cardiac cycle in detail. This video is to illustrate the events in the cardiac cycle. Let's start with the right side of the heart. In reality, of course, the 2 sides work together at the same time. But it is easy to understand if we start from one side. Let's start from right side. Now you can see that deoxygenated blood enters to the right atrium through superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, and right atrium is full of blood now. This pressure causes tricuspid valve to open and blood enters to the right ventricle. Ventricle is full now and start to contract. This increases the pressure of the blood in the ventricle, which closes the tricuspid valve and open the pulmonary valve. Now blood enters to the pulmonary artery, which carries deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs. Inside the lung, blood is purified. Deoxygenated blood become oxygenated by loading oxygen and unloading carbon dioxide. Now oxygenated blood enters to the left atrium through pulmonary vein, increase the pressure of the left atrium and bicuspid valve open, blood enters to the right left ventricle. At that time, left ventricle increases its pressure by contracting, so the bicuspid valve close and the aortic valve open and blood enters to the aorta. Aorta sends blood to all over the body. Now let's see how human heart is adapted to function efficiently. First one, septum. As you can see in the diagram, there's a muscular wall which divided heart into left and right side. This prevents mixing of right side blood and left side blood. So they can function separately, left circulation and right circulation. Second one, valves. Allow blood to flow only in one direction. Third one, thin wall of atria. The walls of atria are very thin. This can be stretched to receive blood as it returns to the heart, but also can contract with enough force to push blood. And the wall of left ventricle is very thick. This is to produce high pressure. Why it should produce high pressure? As we all know that left ventricle connected to the aorta, which send blood to all over the body. So it should pump the blood with very high pressure. To bear this pressure, the wall of the left ventricle is thick. And next one, the wall of the heart is made up of cardiac muscle. This cardiac muscle has special characters. It can contract and relax continuously without becoming fatigued. Next one, heart has its own blood supply. We call as coronary circulation. So it is supplied with coronary arteries and coronary veins in this circulation.
Now let's learn about the coronary heart diseases. This is mainly due to the blockage of coronary arteries. Can you remember what are coronary arteries? Yes, they are the narrowest arteries and also they supply blood to the heart muscles. You can see in the diagram a blocked coronary artery. That is due to the fatty deposits such as cholesterol. When they block, they supply less blood to cardiac muscles. When they supply less blood, that means they have very less oxygen and glucose. Why do they need oxygen and glucose? Yes, you know that. To undergo aerobic respiration. So, if there are less oxygen and glucose, heart muscles undergo less respiration. So, less respiration means they produce less energy. So, this less energy finally results heart attack or we call as coronary heart diseases.
What are the factors affect on coronary heart diseases? First one, heredity. That means as a genetic factor, it can come from one generation to next. Second one, high blood pressure. If we put more strain on the heart, it can cause that heart diseases. Third one, diet. If you are eating too much of saturated fat, such as cholesterol, it can increase the fat level in our body, finally can block the coronary arteries. Next one, smoking. Smoking is increasing the blood pressure and also can make blood clots. Next one, stress. It is also increasing the blood pressure. Lack of exercises. If you are doing regular exercises, it helps to reduce blood pressure and also it is strengthening the heart muscles. What is the normal heart rate? Yes, normal heart rate is 70 times a minute, but this can change according to the needs of the body. For example, when we are doing exercises, the heart rate is increasing. Why is that? Because at that time muscles need more energy. They need an increased supply of oxygen to undergo more aerobic respiration. To deliver this extra oxygen, both the number of beats per minute and the volume of blood supply with each beat should be increased. When we are angry or afraid, also same thing happen. The blood heart rate is increasing. But when we sleep, our heart rate is decreasing. This is again due to the less energy, and so less energy should be released and we need less oxygen. These changes of the heart rate are controlled by the part of a brain called medulla. For example, when we do exercises, there are more carbon dioxide in the blood because of the aerobic respiration. So these detect by the receptors in carotid artery and the aorta. So they send signals to the medulla. Medulla respond by sending nerve impulses along the accelerator nerve. So heart rate increases. When the carbon dioxide production become normal, the medulla receive fewer impulses, so they respond by sending the impulses along decelerator nerve.
Now we are moving to the new part, blood vessels. When you are learning about the heart, you learn that there are blood vessels that connected to the heart. Some are carrying blood to the heart, some are carrying blood away from the heart. Like that, for the other organs also, there are blood supplies. Some vessels carrying blood towards the organ, some are carrying blood away from the organ. Now let's see what are the types of blood vessels. As I said that some blood vessels carrying blood away from the heart, that means toward the organ. They are called as arteries. There's another type that carry blood towards the heart, that means away from the organ. They are known as veins. So there are some tiny blood vessels that called capillaries. They carry blood through organs, linking arteries and veins. Now let's see the differences between these three blood vessels. In this diagram, you can see some of the blood vessels. You can see that there are arteries, there are veins. For example, if I say that lungs, you can see that pulmonary artery is carrying blood towards the lungs. Pulmonary vein is carrying blood away from the lungs. And another one, kidney. You can see that there's an artery that called renal artery carrying blood to the kidney. And from the kidneys, renal vein is carrying blood away towards the heart. There's a special blood vessel called hepatic portal vein. Can you see in the diagram? Yes, it is in between stomach and liver. So, it is not directly connecting to the heart. Like that, there are so many blood vessels. You can refer this diagram carefully.
This diagram shows section through an artery, a vein, and also a capillary. First, we'll look at about the artery. Arteries, as we know, that they carry blood from heart to the organs. So this arterial blood is pumped out of the ventricles at high pressure. To bear this high pressure, their outer wall should be very thick. So this thick muscular wall helps control the flow of blood by dilating or by constricting. Let's move to the vein. You can see that when compared to an artery, the outer wall of the vein is thin. That is due to the low pressure in the venous blood. Normally, the pressure in the blood in vein is lower, so the wall can be thin. There's a special structure in veins, that is semilunar valves, which prevent the backflow of blood. Capillary. Capillary carry blood through organs, bringing the blood close to every cells in the organ. So to do this, capillaries must be very small to fit between cells. And also the wall of capillary are one cell thick, providing a short distance for diffusion of materials into and out of the cell. This table shows a comparison among arteries, veins and capillaries. Now, my dear students, shall we have a small discussion as a summary? Okay, I'll ask some questions. You also give answers. First one, unicellular organisms do not have a circulatory system. Now tell me, who are unicellular organisms? Yes, organism with only one cell. Now tell me, why unicellular organisms do not have a circulatory system? Yes, who can tell? Yes, that is due to high surface area to volume ratio. Then tell me, what is the method that they use to transport things? Yes, very good. That is diffusion. From the diffusion, they can transport things within that one cell. Okay. Then next one, multicellular organism. Then they have circulatory system. Why do they have circulatory system? Yes, their surface area to volume ratio is very low. But they need to transport oxygen, carbon dioxide, urea, hormones, nutrients, all among the body cells. So they should have a circulatory system. There are two types of system. Some have single circulatory system. Some have double circulatory system. Now tell me, what is the difference between single circulation and double circulatory system? In the single circulatory system, blood pumps only once within that one circulation. But in double circulatory system, within one circulation, blood pumps twice through the heart. So according to this one, we can divide double circulation into two parts. As we learned, in double circulation, blood pumps twice through the heart. In one circulation, blood pumps to the lungs and return back. This is called as pulmonary circulation. So what is systemic circulation? Systemic circulation means the circulation of blood among the rest of the organs and the heart. Now tell me, so what is the circulation that humans have? We have double circulation. Then we learned about the heart. Heart is the main organ of the circulatory system. Can you remember we learned that we have 4 chambers in the heart. Upper chambers are known as atria, lower chambers are known as ventricles. And we learned several adaptations of the heart to do its function efficiently. Can you tell me few? Shall we recall the memory? Okay, what are those? One is, yes, very good. We have coronary circulation. That means, yes, heart has its own blood supply. That is coronary circulation. Okay, another one. Yes, there are valves that prevent backflow of blood, or it ensures only flowing blood to one direction. Very good. Then the other thing is septum. Now tell me, what is the use of septum? Yes, septum divides left side and right side. So blood won't mix. Now, can you remember the differences of the thickness of atria and ventricles? Usually, atria, they are very thin. One reason is they can stretch. When the blood comes to the atria by vena cava and pulmonary vein, they need to stretch to hold that blood. Okay, then ventricles, they have thick walls compared to the atria. So if I tell that the left ventricle has the thickest wall, are you agree with me? Yes, very good. Yes, it has the thickest wall. Then tell me, what is the blood vessel then connected to the left ventricle? It is aorta. So aorta supply blood to all over the body. Then heart should give more pressure to the aorta. To bear that pressure, the muscles of the left ventricle should be very thick. Okay. Then we learned that blockage of coronary arteries due to several reasons. Shall we remind? Yes, maybe heredity, due to the stress, due to the food, due to lack of exercises, our coronary arteries can be blocked. If it is blocked, it can result coronary heart diseases. Then we move to the blood vessels. We learn that there are three main blood vessels: arteries, veins, and capillaries. So we learn what are the differences in the function and in structures. So I think that now it is time to end up this lesson. Now, my dear student, it's time to do some questions. Try to do question number 5, 7, 8, 10, 11 in your student book. And I mentioned some references as links to watch YouTube videos relevant to blood and circulation. You can watch to get further details. Let's meet with blood and circulation part 2. Stay safe.